Hiya, so welcome to this webinar. So my name is Lani and I'm from Royal Holloway, University of London, and this webinar is going to comprise a few different elements. So I'll very briefly go over our current planning of the COVID-19 situation and what we're doing for prospective students and current students. I'll go into a little bit just about Royal Holloway, who are we, what do we do, and then I'll quickly follow up at the very end, either if you haven't applied yet for the 2020 entry or you would like to apply for 2021 entry. I'll go through kind of our quick personal statement top tips. So first I'm going to play a video, and just so you know, there is no sound to this video. So it's very, very short. So if you can't hear anything, it's meant to be that way. So that was a very short introduction just to kind of our campus and some quick basic facts and figures about us. So like I said, I'll quickly introduce our new flexible learning offer, which has been created in light of the current pandemic. So what we are doing as a university, so we are currently, for all students of all years, kind of combining face-to-face and online teaching, which means that it's extremely flexible. So if students can't come to campus in September, that's no problem. They can start their course online, whether in the UK already or if they're in another country abroad. You can start learning with us and start your course and then travel to the UK, to campus, to have your face-to-face teaching whenever that's possible. So don't worry, you won't miss out, and that goes for all students, current and prospective. And a few of our courses are offering January 2021 start dates as well. And in regards to what will campus be like, obviously it'll be very socially distanced, but we're doing our best to make sure that that won't impact your experience as a student, because we don't know when this thing will end. But up until then, we're still going to be having clubs and societies, cafes and bars still be open, but at reduced capacity. And we'll also be doing our best to make sure there's rigorous kind of wearing of face masks and cleaning of all facilities. And also all the current services will always still be open, but again, probably be by appointment only rather than drop in. So for example, our wellbeing service will still be open, our GP will still be open, but it'll be kind of reduced capacity. So I'll quickly cover that for you. A bit of general information about us now. So our location, so we are part of the University of London, but we're not actually based in central London, which gets quite a few students, catches them by surprise. So we are located in Surrey, but we are very close to Heathrow Airport, about a 15-minute drive, and we are about 40 minutes by train into the centre of London. And we do also have a campus in central London as well. So our campus, so we're quite unique in the UK. Most UK's kind of our city universities campuses, they're spread out across huge cities, and you need to get a bus or a train or cycle to get from one building to the other. And with us, we're all very compact, and we're in 135 acres of kind of beautiful greenery, as you can see here. So everything's where you want it to be. It takes maybe like 20 minutes to walk from one end to the other. So if you're a bit lazy like I am and you're running a bit late to a lecture, no problem, I can guarantee you'll make it in time. So here are just some photos of our campus, a few to look at. So very green, very spacious, but we also have 24-hour security, so it is also completely gated as well. So all students are very safe on campus. That's our new library building, Emily Wilding Davidson. So very impressive campus facilities. We also have a chapel, and it's multi-faith as well, so anyone's welcome. We have services of lots of different kinds in the chapel, and that's also where you'll graduate. That's where your photo will be taken. So just a few numbers. I'm not going to go through all of them, but kind of the key ones. So we are top 20 in the UK, top 300 worldwide. We are 20th in the UK for international outlook, and what that means, it means the number of international students, the number of international teaching staff, and the number of research we do that impacts internationally. They kind of take all that into account. We come 20 in the UK. So we are a very internationally focused university. And of the 10,000 students, about 2,000 are international, so not from the EU or UK. Quickly, our degree program areas, I'll go through it very, very briefly. School of Performing and Digital Arts, we've got a very strong drama department and media arts department. School of Business and Management, this is probably our most popular school, but there are lots and lots of options for you to choose from. School of Life Sciences and the Environment, Psychology department and our Earth Sciences department are very, very good. School of Law and Social Sciences, so we do law, and you don't have to sit the LMAT, you can just come straight in with your high school grades as well, no additional testing. School of Humanities, and then lastly the School of Engineering, Physical and Mathematical Sciences. So our computer science program is also very, very strong. I think it's the first computer science, one of the oldest departments in the UK. It was founded in 1962, where computers were still massive. So it's got a very good department with a strong history. Some of our basic student facilities. So as I kind of said earlier, we have a new library building called Emily Wilding Davison Building. So it is first and foremost a library, but there are lots of other facilities in there as well. So we have a bank. So when you come over, you can set up your UK bank account, no problem, on campus. And there's also, of course, like a cafe. There's also, that's where the Careers and Employability Service are. So drop in there and they'll help you write your CV, practice interviews, kind of help you look for graduate jobs or part-time work while you're a student. And we also have a shop on campus as well for you to pop in and get your little bits. Sports facilities, so again, these are all on campus. The only thing we are lacking on campus is a swimming pool, but everything else can be found on campus. So the sports centre was very recently refurbished, and we've got obviously a multi-use sports hall, a fitness suite, aerobics area. We've also got lots of tennis courts and floodlit pitches as well. So you can book those out as well and practice as much as you like. Accommodation and housing. So all of our accommodation is again based in that main campus area, and we have lots of halls residents to choose. Generally, accommodation is guaranteed for first year undergraduate students. As long as you kind of meet the deadlines we set in place, you're guaranteed a place in halls, and similarly for postgraduate as well, the same rule applies. And kind of on average, you would share between 4 to 6 other people. So you're not going to be sharing with huge amounts of people if you choose to live in halls. And we have different options, catered and self-catered. So this is one of our newest accommodation, and it's a townhouse of 6 people, and this is self-catered. So as you can see, it has a kitchen with everything that you need to use. If you choose catered accommodation, it means that, so you still get a pantry, so you can cook kind of basic meals. You have like a microwave, you can keep some snacks and things like that, but you just won't have an oven, for example. But you get 50% off food in our kind of like main dining hall area and a couple of other food outlets on campus. That's what you get with catered. With self-catered, you don't get that 50% discount on those outlets on campus. So this is some more accommodation. So again, all got 24-hour security, all of like reception areas on the ground floor, so only you and your friends can get in. Social life, obviously this is like a huge important part of university, and I was a student here, and one of the things I quite liked about it was it is very small, so it means that there is a real kind of friendly student vibe on campus, like community feel, and we have about 150 clubs and societies and 40 sports clubs on campus. So if there's a passion that you have, and these are a few we've listed out, you're probably going to find it. And if there is a club that you want to join but you can't see it on the list, then you can start it yourself. You and 2 other friends, you can start your own club and society. There's lots and lots of things for students to do. There's a very lively SU. I think every day they put something on for students, and obviously we cater for those of you who might drink and those of you who don't drink as well. There are lots of like non-drinking activities and events that go on. So now I'm going to move on quickly to finance, and I just thought I'd kind of give you this handy breakdown. Quite often I get students asking me how much should I expect to spend on my accommodation or my social life. So here's a very brief breakdown. So this is not including obviously tuition fees, but as you can see, quite a large proportion of it, 60%, goes on accommodation. If you choose to stay in one of our halls or residences, you're looking at spending between £3,500 to £6,750 per year on accommodation. And then kind of next biggest chunks, as you might expect, are food and social life. And then the smallest amount is on books and transport. Obviously, quite a few of those are dependent on you and your lifestyle, but that's what you should roughly budget for. Again, as an international student, you can get part-time work in the UK, and you can work up to 20 hours a week on your Tier 4 visa. And particularly if you choose a job on campus as a student ambassador or you work on other cafes, the pay is very good. So I would definitely recommend looking into that. Very, very briefly now, I'm going to go into personal statements. Just to give you some of my top tips if you haven't yet applied. So really briefly, why do we ask for a personal statement? What's the point? What are we looking for? So admissions tutors are looking for 3 things. That they want to know you're a keen and successful student because they're fun to teach. They want someone who's proud in kind of their work and that they're high achieving. And they also want successful students because successful students who kind of show those 2 abilities are highly employable. So your personal statement is kind of your way of showing why you'll be successful on that course. It's mainly to show your passion, and also I'll let you in on a secret. Academics, in my knowledge of working with them, are quite paranoid. And so they want to basically know that you know what you're getting yourself in for. You know what to expect, you know kind of roughly what modules to be looking at, that you have a good subject knowledge, because they want to make sure, again, you're good students, you're not possibly going to fail or drop out or change your mind and, oh no, this wasn't what I thought it would be. They want to know that you know what it is you're going to be studying and doing in the coming 3 or 4 years. So getting quickly into the mind of an admissions tutor, what do they look for? They want to know that you are able to study independently. So university is very, very different to school life. Lots of it is independent study, but you've got to motivate yourself to do it. They want to know you're, again, motivated and high achieving. They want to know that you're, of course, intellectually capable. And they want to see kind of your potential. They want to know you've got significant subject knowledge, that you have an interest, again, in studying the subject, and that you can be like an active member of the university, that you can participate in university life in whichever way that may take, even if that's studying at a club or society, that you can contribute. And depending on the university, the person reading a personal statement, they might teach your degree or they might not. So again, they're looking for someone they want to teach. So some basics. So this is for despite UCAS, but this also does apply to postgraduate students as well when it comes to the basics of writing a personal statement. So make it yours. Don't copy paste. It is a personal statement. Again, they read hundreds, maybe thousands of personal statements, and it should read again like you wrote it. And like I keep saying, it should evidence your enthusiasm and commitment. So link everything to your chosen subject. Kind of the easiest way to say this is think of it as like an essay where by the end of kind of every paragraph you link back to why do you want to do this? How does it show your passion for it? So if it doesn't relate to being an accessible university student. If it doesn't relate to the course, then get rid of it, and use the kind of so what test to decide what to cut. And the so what test basically goes along these lines. So if you're not sure if you should include it, think to yourself, is it useful or is it interesting? Does it either show subject knowledge about the course that I've done, or does it show that like a skill that I know is good for this subject? If the answer to either of those is no, then get rid of it. If the answer is yes, keep it. If you don't know, save it for later and get your teacher or friend or family member to read over it and see what their input is. And again, get to the point straight away. No waffling introductions. Short and sweet is the best. So really quickly, kind of my advice would be to have a look at these questions and maybe make bullet points or notes for a couple of them, and the ones where you can then look back and you think these are the strongest answers that I've given, or this is the questions I've given the most answers, then you kind of use these ones to start thinking about your personal statement and what you're going to include and how you might structure it. So I'm not going to read all of them out, but as you can see, I've kind of put it in a body kind of way to think about it. So the head is the subject. Why this topic? Why this subject? The heart, what matters to you? You know, where can you see yourself going with it? Is there a particular reason why you pick this subject? Can you see yourself going somewhere with it? Does it like play into a passion of yours, like sustainability, for example, or environmental research, conservation? Does it matter to you, and if so, why? The body of the personal statement, so how have you experienced your subject? This is mainly going to be, of course, through kind of teaching and school, but there could be some other ways you've experienced it too, perhaps some work experience or life experience, perhaps a family member as well. So think about that. And now for extracurricular activities, this should also be the shortest kind of thing you talk about in your personal statement, and quite often students think they need to include extracurricular activities as a prerequisite and to look well-rounded, which is to an extent true. But if your extracurricular activities really don't link back to either the subject or to the skills that you need for it, then I'd leave it out. I'd get rid of it. And the most important thing is the subject and the skills. So for example, you want to study physics and you just put down they like watching lots of films, not so relevant. If you want to study English or playwriting or documentary making, you say you love films, a bit more relevant. So along those lines. And then this one is like what admissions tutors love. And if you kind of have an idea of this already, I would definitely include it, but it's what are your current career ambitions and goals? So what do you see yourself achieving post-university? Where can this degree take you? And I absolutely love it if you have a vague idea of that right now. And I think this might, lastly, how to structure your personal statement. So here I've got the flow structure. So 4 boxes roughly equate to the paragraphs. Introduction's kind of simple enough. Subject knowledge should expand and provide evidence of why you'll be good at the subject. Any extracurricular activities, and then conclude again with your study plans if you have them already. So I think there might be a few questions that I can. So are there any questions that I've missed out that you'd like me to address?
Lani, thank you so much for this. We have many questions actually. People are very interested. So if you want, I can disable your screen share and then you can go to the platform to answer.
Brilliant.
Okay. Okay, there you go. You can do it. You can close the presentation on your end.
Okay.
And then click on the questions tab. Do you see that?
Yes, I can see that. Brilliant. So the first one I can see is, should our personal statement letter include our job experience? Yeah, absolutely. So even if the job's not related to the subject, if you can pick up some key skills, then by all means include it, whether that was independent thinking, creative thinking, teamwork, the timekeeping, organisation, then definitely mention your job, your work experience in that bonus if it's related to the subject, but if it's not, for sure. I think this presentation will be shared on YouTube, and I have also included my email in the presentation, so you might not have seen it just then, but go on YouTube and you can make a note of it, and feel free to email me for any more questions. How should high school students prepare themselves for uni? So for this one, I might actually send you a link, because I just got an email the other day from, I'm gonna type it in here, bear with me. So I don't know if everyone gets that. Would everyone get that link that I've just shared?
We'll see that.
Okay, so there's a link that's been a webinar or kind of course made by the British Council, which is how to prepare for studying in the UK specifically. I haven't actually looked at the content yet, so I don't know how much of it covers university, but I think it does cover those kind of aspects like independent learning and what to expect. So do check out that link, enroll in that course. I think it starts in July. It's a couple of weeks long. I guess the main thing I would say from my experience, the biggest leap I found was, I guess, homesickness. It's maybe one, and probably for yourselves even more so. And also just how much you're left alone to just get on with it. So if you're able to kind of prepare maybe for that, or realise that's the case, then that would be the best way. For homesickness, I've heard good tips are just to obviously keep in touch with your family, but also like the new friends that you make, like if you're able to kind of introduce them to your culture, cook meals or whatever, that's a good way. I had a friend from Saudi Arabia. She was very homesick, and so the way she kind of coped with it, she would cook us all these amazing meals. I was very happy. So that's kind of one way you might want to do it. How can we really show that we are passionate on the area we want to apply for masters? How should you write it on a personal statement? So how would you show your passion? I think the best way would be to, well, I guess it depends what the passion is. Is it because you genuinely love the subject, or because you love where it could take you career-wise, or does it play into some higher, bigger picture cause? Will it help the environment? Will it help medicine, help people? So I guess it depends what your passion is, like why do you want to study it? But I recently applied for a master's here as well, and I got an offer, and why I wrote about it and how I got accepted, I spoke about my own personal learning experience. It was a completely new field to me. I'm a history student, and I'm now doing computer science, and I spoke about what was the change in my thinking, what was this thing that sparked my passion. I just spoke about that. Why do I want to change my career? And if you show that passion, they'll accept you, like they accepted me. What A-level subjects would you recommend for law school? So we have no particular subject, but I would say essay-based subjects would be best, because that's kind of what we're doing a lot in law, a lot of that knowledge and a lot of essay writing. So no preference, but English, history, politics, those would be good suggestions. Do we have a work permit? Yeah, for both undergraduates and postgraduates, you can work 20 hours a week in the UK, and we can help you find a job with our career service, and we have lots of jobs on campus. So there are about 1,000 jobs on campus the students fill, so definitely we can help you with that. What are the extracurriculars that you see students' applications that make a difference? So the extracurriculars that make a difference, the good ones that are in school would be if you are a member of a club, even if you don't lead it, if you just participate, and if there's maybe, so quite a good one is charity work as well, because that just shows that you are motivated, you kind of will participate in university life. You know, if you contribute some time to charity, that means you might contribute your time to a sport or a society, or to setting up like a research club, study group in university. That would be good. Other extracurriculars, ones where it shows kind of thinking that you can't learn in school, so a bit more like teamwork or leadership. So again, if you want to run a club, like Model UN, for example, that's really good. Or even if you do an extended research piece on the topic you want to study, that can be really, really good as well, because it shows that extra, like, beyond classroom thinking that they like. Are there any virtual workshops about writing? I think we have our own virtual workshop, but I'm not sure where the link is, so I'll try and find that and get that to you somehow. But I'm sure if you do have a quick look, I think lots of universities have their own guidance, and we have one as well, but yeah, I need to find the link and when that's happening. I think you might have to sign up for it. And great campus. Our campus is beautiful. So when this is all over, if you're able to come over to have a look, please do. It's yeah, it's very, very, very pretty. That's what sold me when I went. I walked on campus and I saw that building and I was like, yeah, I'm living here. And our nickname is Hollowarts, because apparently we look a little bit like Hogwarts, but I don't know if I believe that myself. But students like it. What is the best and most effective way to write essays, and how can we improve our essay writing? How to improve essay writing? I think it depends. If you're still in school, it might be a bit easier. If you're post-grad looking, I think perhaps the lecturers might not have too much time to help you, give you a hand. But the best way you can improve it, I think, is just practice makes perfect. And I think the key thing I learned about essay writing, particularly personal statements, is, like I said, the most basic structures help, and I would kind of use that layout that I set out. So think of the head, subject knowledge; heart, why do you want to do it; body, how have you experienced it in school or work; arms and legs, any extracurricular things that help you; and then clouds, post-study, what you're going to do with it. That's a good way to structure it. And then I think just essays, keep it short and sweet. Students want to show off their vocabulary, but don't. Just use plain, simple English. Always examples, and like I said, always link back to why you want to study it. And about 4 paragraphs is best. I think you can't go too wrong if you just stick. If you know your structure and you know your ideas, I don't think you can go too wrong. I think we have some more questions. Should we include like hobbies like sports, art, dance, if you want to study science? So good questions. If your extracurricular activities aren't obviously linked to the subject, should I include it? And what I would say to that is, so it depends what you do. So in sports, I guess that would be a good one because it shows teamwork. And I guess I'm not a scientist, but I imagine perhaps it might involve some elements of teamwork, like labs, for example. You might put in groups. So that would then be a good way to put it in. I already have experience of working with people, or like disseminating team, or we talk through tactics together. It means that we'll be talking about our research methods together. So you can link it in. It's just thinking, do they link? So again, dance, same thing. Maybe it shows your creativity. And I know science can be quite prescriptive, but it also can be a bit creative. So you think outside the box sometimes. So just think really hard, and if it's not obviously clear there's a link, have a think. I'm sure you'll find one, but if you really, really can't find one, then I would possibly leave it out if you're running out of space, because there's probably other things you could include over it. What do you want for IELTS? So for undergraduate and postgraduate, generally speaking, it's 6.5 in IELTS with no sub-score lower than 5.5, but some do want slightly higher, so do double check, but it's about 6.5. What changes are you making to manage COVID? So again, I mentioned this briefly at the start, but again, for postgraduates and undergraduates, we're moving on to both online and face-to-face teaching. That's going to be very blended, and so there'll be smaller classroom sizes. So I guess the lecturers are going to have a higher workload. They're going to be teaching the same class more than once, whereas before they teach all in one big lecture. Now they're doing smaller groups. You'll still have like study groups, but I imagine you'll have maybe your like 7 or 8 students that are always together, and you stick in those groups, like seminars, for example. And again, there'll be online lectures as well. And again, like I said, very flexible. If you can't come to the UK in September because of COVID, then you can start the course online, And then when you can come to UK, you can then pick up the face-to-face teaching of it. So you shouldn't miss out on anything. And again, for the student experience, we're doing our best to plan the fullest experience for you. So we're going to set up an app so you can start chatting, making friends, even if you're not there in person yet. And like I said, sports clubs will still run, societies will still run. There's probably, again, more online things, and maybe when they do meet up, organise things, they might do more than one session to cater for everyone. But we are doing our best. You've been there, yes. Here's a overview of campus again. Which would you prefer studying, US or UK? Be honest. So I've never experienced education in the US myself. I think it probably depends on your preference. I guess the language stuff is the same, so no problem with that. From my experience, why students pick the UK over the US or vice versa is generally because of a few things. So one, cost. The UK is generally a tiny bit cheaper because our courses are shorter. So in the US, you're looking at about 4 years for undergraduate. In the UK, it's 3. And for masters, you're looking at about 1 year. In the US, I think it's more like 2 years. So it's slightly cheaper because slightly shorter. And again, more time efficient. If you want to get in there and get working quickly, then UK is better. And I also think if you have a clear passion, the UK is better because, again, in the US, your first year, I can't remember what it's called, but it's very, very general. You learn everything. You learn maths, you do physics, you do history, you do English, and then you start to narrow down and pick your choice. So if you're undecided, maybe the US is better, but if you know history, that's the one. UK is better. And also I'm slightly biased because I'm British, so of course I think the UK is better. But it just depends what experience you're looking for. And I guess maybe the one other benefit of the UK is that I guess you can travel to a few more countries a bit cheaper than from the US, but that's just me speaking. In Turkey or US, we don't have a PhD proposal during application. So this one is about PhD proposals and how that works in the UK. In the UK, how that would work, you would need to find a supervisor. So say if you joined Royal Holloway and you knew you wanted to do your PhD also at Royal Holloway, you'd have to speak to the academics in that department and see if any of them would want to has either the knowledge or capacity or time available to be your supervisor. If they say yes, then you write a detailed proposal, which is about a couple of thousand words, and then take it from there, and you'll get accepted or not accepted. So that's the first thing you do, is just reach out to universities, to their departments, and just do an informal query. So all it is an email just asking, this is what I kind of would like to do my PhD on, and this is kind of how long I think it might take. Would you be able to help me or find someone in the department? And then you take it from there. And then if the answer is yes, they'll give you the information to write the detailed proposal. When should we send application letters? So if you want to start in 2020, you can still do it now, but the timeline is quite tight. You've got maybe like a month to get them in. If you're looking to join 2021, you can send them from September 2021 until now, but for peace of mind, earlier the better. But you can still send them in pretty much whenever. We're quite flexible. They need to be sent though at the same time as the rest of your application. So you'll send us your grades, basic information, and this personal statement all at the same time. So make sure you have them all together. Why is Masters 1 year in the UK? I don't actually know why it's 1 year, but it is. So how it works is you'll be on campus learning from September to about April, and then you'll have exams in May. And then for most courses, they then of course require a thesis or dissertation or project, and you'll have from May until, with us, September to complete that. And then that's your master's over from September to September. I don't know why though, but I think it's sufficient. what are scholarships options for postgraduates? So we have quite a few. Let me link it to our website, so bear with me. We have quite a few, but it depends on what grade you've achieved, if you're an international student, what subject you're studying. So I will send that to you now. Bear with me. There we go. There we go. So we have a few options to have a look through. What do you think about education at school? Does this mean at high school or at university? I'm not sure how to answer that one just yet. But have I answered all the questions? I think I may have done. So if there's any more that you think of when this goes on YouTube, feel free to drop me an email. But yeah, I think that might be it.
Yes, I did almost all the questions. Thank you so much, Lenny, for attending and for participating to this webinar. It was really explanatory. I think we have one last question. If you want to check it out, then we can say goodbye.
So I think it's just someone saying thank you, but thank you.
There is this one. Are there any virtual workshops, etc., about writing college or uni essays?
So are there any virtual workshops? So like I said, so we are running one, but I need to find the link for that, and I'm not sure how to sign up, so I'll try and find that out for you. If you're able to drop me an email, whoever wrote that and whoever's interested, I'll get back to you. But if you don't join our one, then lots of universities do offer it, I believe. It might just involve kind of searching their web page quite a bit. They often hide it in places. But if you go on a university web page, usually if you look for a section that says schools or colleges, it's usually in there you'll find some resources or workshops for writing these essays and personal statements. If not, I'm sure you can find some stuff online. I have also recorded that presentation, so it depends if I can find again. Might have to bear with me, I'm really sorry about this, but there is a YouTube link somewhere which I can send.
If you cannot find it at this moment, you can contact the person who is asking for it later by email.
Okay, will I get all their emails as well? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Or again, likewise, you can contact me by email and I'll email you the link as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You can do that as well. I think maybe for that, you can drop your email address in the chat box so people can contact you easier.
Cool. So this is my email. There we go. So I think you should have it there. So it's lani.allen@rhul.ac.uk. But yeah, feel free.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lenny.
Bye, thank you, and have a good day. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.